Here is Trolley Tour in Galena, Illinois.
Yeah.
Brick home here on the right with the white columns. These are original hand-carved wooden columns from the 1840s.
Wow.
If you look off to the left, you'll see a house that's set back a little bit. We're actually looking at the back of the home. That home was originally built facing the river, so the front's a little more elaborate. You take a walk along the levee on the other side of the river, you'd have the opportunity to see the front of the home. One time there was a staircase right by the front porch of that home down to the river.
How many residents they only have here? Konti lang. Mostly are tourists.
House under construction.
The houses are so Victorian style.
Other ones are under
Here on our left,
construction.
getting some work done to it. This was an old stagecoach house and hotel from the 1830s. At the time that it was open, it was $1 a night to stay there. About 35 cents for dinner. And those limestone columns on the front, those are original to the home.
Wow.
Brick home here on the right with the green shutters. At one time, this was the home of John Smith. Mr. Smith was a Civil War general. He was one of the 9 Civil War generals that lived here in Galena. But if you look above the front 2 windows, you'll see a star on the home. That star's not there just for decoration. There's actually a rod that runs all the way through the house behind the star. Like many of the old brick homes and buildings here in town have, they're there for structural purposes. They claimed back then if the walls of the house started to bow, that they could twist and turn the rods to try and bring the home back into square.
Oh.
We have a big Queen Anne Victorian home here on the right, built around 1894. These Victorian homes, if they use 3 or more colors in their paint scheme, they can be referred to as a painted lady. One of Galena's oldest Victorian homes, oldest painted ladies here on the right on the corner, built around 1892.
Balay ka mga malyas sa tukbang sa mga prominent families. Sa wala na eh.
Mga Andola.
Mga Andola wala na. Pailadang house.
We're coming back around to that first Victorian home. It's up here on the right. You'll notice there's a gazebo in the side yard. That gazebo is constructed out of the old elevator doors of the Marquette building in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, it's a big house. Yeah.
Very
Maintained it. Very
With many of the homes and buildings here in town being historic, it means if anything wants to be done to them, color-wise, structure-wise, whatever it may be, has to be approved by the Historic Preservation Commission here in town.
Okay ni tatay.
Brick building here on the left on the corner, built in 1886. It's the old waterworks building. So when some of the first public wells were drilled on this side of the river, that's where they were pumped into. In the past, there was some big water towers behind the building. The hill here to Galena's most famous home. Up on the left is the home of President Grant. But in the front yard on the left, you'll see a statue. That statue's of Julia Dent Grant. That's President Grant's wife. That statue was placed there in 2006.
Nice.
We have the Grant home here on the left, built in 1860. In 1865, some local residents got together, paid $2,500. They bought this home and gave it to the Grants as they returned from the Civil War. It is open for tours every day but Monday and Tuesday, where you can go in and tour the homes, and lots of cool Grant family heirlooms and artifacts. President Grant's favorite chair is in there, one he took back and forth to the White House. There's also a 15-pound Grant family Bible and lots of other Grant heirlooms. The Grants owned the home up until 1904. That's after President and Mrs. Grant had passed. That's when the Grant children gave the home back to the city of Galena to be used for historical purposes only. Then the city of Galena deeded it over to the state of Illinois in 1931. And that's who owns and operates the home today. Look off to the right down the hill a little bit and see a log cabin. Log cabin built in the 1850s. Moved to that spot from another spot in the county in the 1970s. But at one time there was a family of 8 that lived in that log cabin.
Wow.
Off to our right, built in 1858 for Nelson Stillman. He was very successful in the riverboat industry, as well as being a sugar and dry goods merchant down on Main Street. But if you look all the way up to the top of the home, looks like a little gazebo up there. There's some stairs from the back that take you to the top, and that's called a widow's walk. The Stillmans, they lived there till the early 1880s. He had passed on, and the rest of the family then moved to Chicago. Then the home sat idle for many years. Been quite a few different things since then. To name a few, it's been a nursing home, been a bed and breakfast, been a wedding venue, been a restaurant, and many more things. But now it serves as the administrative offices to the Historical Society.
Oh,
And that would be the carriage house behind the home.
Yes, man. It's like a funeral.
And off to our right, the Historical Society plans on building a new Galena and U.S. Grant Museum in this location. Museum's currently on Bench Street. That's on the other side of the river. We'll see it later on the tour. But the next couple of years, they plan on building a new building and moving everything out to this location. Then if you look off to the left, this is the St. Michael's Catholic Cemetery. And in there, there's a
This is so nice.
30-foot tall gravestone. That gravestone belongs to Nicholas Dowling. Nicholas's father was the first merchant here in town. So towards the end of the tour, while we're driving down on Main Street, we'll be able to see the Dowling House, Galena's oldest home from 1826. But Nicholas grew up, got married, and when he had passed on, his wife was so distraught in his passing, she had that 30-foot tall gravestone built that she could see it from her front porch.
probably be a restaurant. Yeah, it's a big one.
Our hotel is on the right.